right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Roma Forum podcast. My name is Anthony, and as always, I'm joined by Christian and Luca. We want to start off by wishing you a very happy Easter. It is Easter Monday, and, you know, it's been a lot. It's been an intense weekend. You know, Roma Saturday get 3 points against Verona. Um, Sunday we had Easter, and of course, everyone by now knows the news that our Holy Father Pope Francis has passed away. Um, I mean, there's a lot. We're going to focus on Verona, and it seems like even worse than that. I mean, maybe we could start with the Cristante masterclass. That's really tragic. It kind of interrupts the agenda of a lot of fans, and I know that after a match day we like to talk about tops and flops, and you know tops for me, Mancini and Cristante, two of the senators. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you're right there. It's unfortunate, but one of the part of the fortunate news for my flops, the the Dove Big Hate train continues, and I'm
Mm,
glad he started on the bench, and it proved to pay off with just an absolutely beautiful, remarkable goal all around. The pass by Cristante to
mhm.
Sule, whose touch was incredible, and then goes and dumps it off to Eldor, who basically just needed to tap it in. But all around, it was only 1-0, but it was one of these 1-0 matches that I was pretty confident the whole match. I don't know
Yeah,
why, but there really wasn't a moment where I was concerned that we were going to let up some, worldy goal, some dude who hasn't scored ever, or as we like to say, hasn't scored in 5 years, and the last time he scored was probably against Roma. But
yeah,
yeah, it was all around 3 points. We
yeah.
moved.
It's around
So
3 points. Christian, what are you thinking?
Yeah, for me, man of the match, I would definitely say Sule. He's been pretty consistent in the last couple weeks. And he's really found his footing under Ranieri, like we've said the last month or so. So for me, Sule was man of the match. I think on FOTMob actually he was rated man of the match if I
Hmm.
remember correctly. So for sure he's up there for me. I liked Chalik Saturday. He played a pretty good game in my opinion. He did his job well. He
Yeah,
tracked back. Uh, he covered the whole the backside where he was there pretty well in my opinion. I had a lot of confidence in him there. So for me, Sule and Chalik were solid. I mean, the whole team actually played relatively well.
hmm,
Mancini had a pretty decent game. I know Cristante obviously was better than he usually is. Um, Shimorodov just did what he had to do, right? Right place, right time for that tap and goal. It's not the prettiest goal, but it's what's expected of him as a striker in his position. And like Anthony said, Dovbik started this one off, and we were proven,
you mean
we were,
Eldor?
or sorry, Eldor was proved us all why he should be starting at least the last month or so, and from here
hmm.
on out. So, yeah, that's my take on Verona. But I was pretty confident that we were going to hold out the win.
Yeah,
I mean, it was only 1-0, but 3 points is 3 points, and that's
yeah.
all that matters.
I mean, it's one thing when you win 1-0, and you know you spend 86 minutes up 1-0, and you're constantly worried that you're going to concede. And I didn't really feel that way. Maybe for the first 20 minutes, I'd say in the first 20 minutes after scoring, there's always that anxiety that, like, oh, they're gonna bite right back. And then it creeps back up in like the last 20 minutes of the game. But I would say for the most part, I was pretty confident. Yeah, like you guys said, I wasn't afraid. I didn't think that we were gonna give up an equalizer, let alone go down one goal. But something you said, Christian Chelik, I mean, I can't believe that I live in a world where I see Biafora put out the starting lineup and Chelik is starting center back, and I am excited. Like, that is like a source of consolation for me. Um, I'm like, okay, like Chelik, Mancini, Indica. Like that is our back line. That's our back three, and that feels really good.
And just like Roma in Roma fashion, he's having a great year. And
Mhm.
some news earlier, or not news, but rumors are that he's gone. He's already agreed to a
Arthur
contract with,
Fulham.
yeah,
Yeah.
to another squad. So it's like,
Um,
yeah, just rip our hearts out while you're at it and bend us over, and whatever
I mean,
every year.
I don't believe that. Who said that? Who said he's got a?
Well, I won't name names here, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, convenient. Yeah. Um,
yeah,
listen, I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think Roma would be quick to sell him at all, unless like you know the next manager, whoever it is, specifically asks that we sell Chelik. I don't think he's going to go anywhere next year. So all right, that leads us to like who didn't play well. Any thoughts, opinions?
I wouldn't
you know,
say
on
anyone stood out particularly bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe Baldanzi could have been a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was, again, I'm not saying he played bad or anything. I'm just saying he could have had some better moments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the guy still gives his all, which is, what we all ask as fans at least. And
Right.
given he's a very young player too, he's expected to do so, which he does. So yeah, I mean, in general, it would have been nice to score one or two more goals, considering the whole game was basically 1-0 from what, 5 or 6 minutes in.
4 minutes. Yeah.
4
4 minutes, yeah.
minutes in. So if we could have just posed maybe some more threat in the final third, I know we had some chances, but that's been Roma's problem for the last numerous years,
Mm-hmm.
not capitalizing on the chances that we have. But thank God, at least we pulled this one out. So that's
Yeah.
really the only negative, in my opinion. Maybe just finalizing a couple more goals against a team like Verona, who actually beat
Mm-hmm.
us earlier this season. But we'll
Yep.
save that for the next topic.
Yeah. Luca.
For me, I think Salad Makers was kind of one of the worst. Not that he was bad, not that he was bad. I just we expect so much out of him, and I just think he was a bit sloppy and not his normal crisp self. So, um, and I agree, Boldanzi. I think, um, you know, yeah,
Yeah, but for
it's
him, it's more of
rough.
like he doesn't play enough.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like we had the same complaints um,
oh,
about
thousand
Sule
percent.
earlier in the season, like after we first signed him and he was going to go in January. It was difficult because basically we had the best, one of the best players in Europe, the best player in Italy, Paulo Dybala, playing in the position Sule plays, primarily plays. And there was this like no question. Dybala starts and Sule will get minutes, when he gets minutes. I mean, now he sort of put us in a, I'm not going to say a super difficult position, but in a difficult position. Because while Dybala, is still one of the best player in Serie A, in my opinion, and he's one of the best players in Europe. I mean, I think I mentioned this last time as well, but this week again confirms like I'm not afraid of the post Dybala era for Roma, as long as we have Sule. He is. It might be a hot take. I don't want to say it because I think it sounds ridiculous, but it might not be. In a year, it's almost like he's challenging Dybala for the starting position, and he's like totally shocked us completely. I think. I
I
don't know.
just
What?
I want to add something to that. Let's not forget though, we were also not huge fans of Sule earlier this season under our former two coaches. Granted, obviously no one was a fan of Juric, but the guy found a new footing under Ranieri. So
Mhm.
Anthony, if you're gonna say you're not afraid for the post Dybala era, well, we don't even know who the next coach is. Number
Mhm.
one. Number two, we don't know if Sule is gonna thrive under said coach. So
Right.
I think it's still a
Yeah,
little
but I
early to
think it
say.
also has built a confidence in Sule
Oh,
that
absolutely.
he didn't have at the start of the season, right?
100%. I
Yeah.
think no matter what, whoever the next coach is, he'll be better than he was, what like 7, 8 months ago.
Mhm.
But, you know, we honestly won't know that until the time
Yeah.
comes. But definitely more confident in Sule for
I
sure.
mean, I think that we shouldn't be afraid or nervous when a manager unlocks a player, because that's what Ranieri did. He unlocked Sule. Like
Yeah.
he has so much experience that Daniele De Rossi does not have, and he has so much experience at such a high level that Ivan Juric did not have, that he was able to tap into and unlock Sule. Now, the successor to Ranieri, in my mind, the idea is that you pick someone who has had like as much success and at such a high level as Ranieri, who would be able to continue to utilize Sule in the appropriate manner. You know, the problem was is like Juric comes in and he's taking this like survive relegation mindset and trying to use those tactics with Roma when our goal should be top four, if not the Scudetto, on paper at least. So he failed miserably because of that, and he does not handle pressure well. He was, I mean, I remember when he was at Verona and Torino, like getting into it with owners and management, and like this guy's not okay. You know, he he's good in Torino and Verona for a little while, maybe not forever, as we can see by the fallout in those two places. But you know, I'm confident that we'll find a coach who's not going to try to basically do too much, right?
I think one thing that I'm just play devil's advocate here is, I mean, we can remember a few years back when Paulo Fonseca tapped into a Jordan Veretout, and he was like the best midfielder
Yeah.
for a long time, and then Mourinho comes along, and Veretout was like, not even sniffing the butts of, I don't even know,
Yeah.
of what Pellegrini is right now. So it's just like, I don't I like the confidence. I like to think I'm not nervous post Dybala, but I also am cautious because who knows? It could be, a manager that has all this great success that's, whatever, but maybe just can't tap into that young player.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Um, I don't know. Venetu is that's still kind of a sore subject for me. I mean, do you guys remember when I think it was 9 or 10 penalties in a row he didn't miss?
yeah.
And this was like that was like the best penalty record for like a year.
Hmm.
And this was just like a guy we picked up one summer, and I don't know, he had a lot of like brushes with football grace. I don't know what happened, but he was really impressive for a while. But you're right. When Mourinho came, we ended up selling him back to France. I think he came from France, right?
Hmm.
Um,
I think he's playing with Fonseca again.
yeah, I think isn't he
Lyon.
at Lyon?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Marseille? Um,
He went to
but
Marseille and now I think he's with Lyon.
yeah,
Anyways.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like again with Mourinho, he came to Roma with a very specific playing style, and some people could adapt. Some players can adapt to that. That's why we had at least some turnover from Fonseca into Mourinho. But going into the future, I'm not anxious about Sule or where Sule belongs in the team or where Sule belongs in a Roma where we don't have Dybala anymore. So anyway,
Yeah.
we do have a couple of questions here, and I just wanted to get to them. Question number one was essentially what it's saying here is, with Ranieri's comments that top four isn't realistic. Do we agree with that, or do we still think that it's a possibility?
I think, okay, it's obviously a possibility mathematically. It's a very big possibility mathematically, but I think the past two games, excluding Verona, but the two games that we just played against the Juve and Lazio, I think at least one of those two games were a must win. Every game's a must win, but
Hmm.
in this point in time, the way the table's out, we're just within reach of both of those teams. I think either Juve or the Derby was at least a must win one of those. We tied both. So that was a huge, huge blow in the race for top four. Um, okay, we beat Verona, fine, but now you look at the schedule coming up. We got Inter,
Yeah.
Fiorentina, who absolutely humiliated us the first round.
Yeah.
Atalanta, I'm confident in saying that that's an automatic loss because it's impossible for Roma to play in Bergamo. Then we got Milan, which hopefully I'm going to be at that game. And then Torino, which is always a toss up.
Yeah.
It's always a toss up. Torino is never a guaranteed win either.
Yeah.
No game's a guaranteed win, but Torino always gives us a run for money, and we're playing away that game. And Rome
Yeah.
is scared to play away games. We're not like I'm confident saying that, and the
Hmm.
stats also show that. But is top four possible? It's possible. Do I think we're gonna make it? I hate being the negative, but I'm gonna say, as of right now, I don't think that we make it. The
Hmm.
Derby or Juve were a must-win games, at least one of the two. And with the schedule coming up, I mean, like all these teams we're playing against are basically in the top, are above us or just below us. Like they're extremely difficult games.
Yeah.
So that's my take on top four
Yeah.
in the
Right.
last few
That's
games remaining.
pragmatic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very pragmatic take. I think if I were playing FIFA, which I have played FIFA, and I started mid-season when we were, on a run and we were down low, whatever, and I finished out the season, and I finished third. Granted, I was playing on easy and whatever.
Yeah.
Those are minor details. Um, Unfortunately, we're not playing FIFA on easy or on professional or whatever level it is. We're real life here, and I don't think it's possible. It should be the goal. Not saying it's impossible. Well, I just said it's impossible, but I
It's
would say it's
unlikely.
about a 98% chance of not. If I were a betting man, I would put the house on us being outside of the top four. Um,
Yeah. I
but
mean,
yeah,
okay. So I think I can be the one that gives a little bit of hope here. Um,
I hope we're wrong though, by the way.
yeah,
yeah.
Obviously.
for sure. I hope we are playing FIFA.
So I think like these last 10 games, so the games we played so far with the games we have left, like you need to win all of them basically. To have like to control your own fate, you'd have to win all of them, right? Um Now, absolutely, it is very difficult to have a positive outlook after drawing Lazio and Juventus because the idea was you need to win at least one, right? And what makes it even more painful is the fact that both were winnable games and we didn't win them. Um,
Exactly.
so, okay, I think that the mindset of we need to win at least one of these, ideally, we win two, is rooted in this very, very unfortunate perspective that number one, Inter is a guaranteed loss, and number two, that Fiorentina is like almost undoubtedly not a win. It might be a draw, it might be a loss, and that Bergamo is also playing Atalanta in
That's an auto
Bergamo.
loss.
See, like that's the thing. So I think that there is a really good chance that we win both of those games. Like I think that right now, Roma current identity, went the way we played in the derby, the way we played against Verona, calm, not losing our heads, not doing too much. I think that we can go and beat Atalanta, and I think that we can go and beat Fiorentina. Um, and so, and like I don't know, guys. I
I
saw
don't
that
know. I used to be
Bastoni.
optimistic like that, but these guys, history repeats itself. Just when you think they can just do it, they don't.
Yeah. No, I know. I
They should
understand.
be able to beat them. They absolutely
Oh,
should.
please. We should
But
wipe the floor with Fiorentina. Absolutely. Whatever. Again, letting my biases get ahead of me.
that's the
Uh,
problem, though, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm the same way, but at this point in time, we beat Verona 1-0 at home. Like,
Yeah, I
you know what
know.
I
And
mean?
but like at the end of the day, you get the same amount of points for 1-0 win against Verona as you do for
Yeah,
7-0, right?
yeah.
Like
But
if
I'm
we go
saying
in,
that we're only scoring one goal against Verona at the Olimpico. We're gonna travel to Bergamo and score more goals than Atalanta.
Yeah, well, that's the
because
thing
they
because
press
they're going to
hard.
score. Yeah,
It's always a pretty high scoring game against Atalanta.
yeah. And they hate Roma. That's the thing too. So they're not playing for the Scudetto anymore. I think. I think it's going to be, uh, unfortunately, Inter again, or even worse, Napoli winning again. Um,
I
but
I don't think we've beat Fiorentina since, well, just kidding, since 2023.
yeah, so that
And
means
before that, it was 2021.
yeah, there a lot of draws, losses.
Granted, our last match against them, we had Ivan the Terrible and
Yeah, that
Hermoso or
we
whatever his name was got a red card. I mean, it just was
we can't even like. I don't think we can even think of Urich games anymore. So this
no.
is a totally different Roma. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
look,
agree.
like we could never beat Atalanta, and then I think it was, remember, under Mourinho,
Oh
we
yeah,
went there and we scored like 3 or 4 goals
Yeah,
in Bergamo with Zaniolo scoring and things like. So it's possible. If Mourinho can go to Bergamo and score 3 or 4 goals and win, I think that Ranieri with this Roma can go out there and win. I think
and
so.
score
it's a
one
good point.
nothing, 2-1, 1-0.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I don't care. A win in Bergamo, whether it's a friggin' the sloppiest goal of goals, a PK, 1-0, I don't care. 3 points in Bergamo is huge,
yeah,
especially right now.
yep,
But we'll see. We still
yeah.
got a
We'll
couple
see.
weeks. We still
Uh,
have that's
And
not
we have to
till
get through Inter.
yeah,
yeah.
like
Well, Inter's in first, and we'll see what happens. But speaking of first, I do remember seeing another question that was concerning this horrible statistic that I am like nauseated by, and that's the fact that like since January 1st, Roma is in first place. Um, like, what do we think of that? Uh, that is so. First, I'll let
And
Christian
and
start.
if
I don't
my
want to get ahead of
grandmother
myself.
and if my grandmother could honk, she'd be a car. I
Yeah, if she
mean,
had wheels, she would have been a bike, you know?
great fun fact.
Yeah.
it's the people like this, the stats that are brought out of nowhere like this that is the biggest problem with Romanisti.
Hmm.
Opinions, Twitter, all this crap. But it's people like this guy Wayne on Twitter who's got to come out and celebrate like we need a Nobel Peace Prize for going 17 games unbeaten since Ranieri's arrived, and we are okay mathematically in first place if City A were to have kicked off as of January 1st, 2025. To be proud of something like that, okay, I love the form that we're in. Obviously, we wouldn't be talking about top four if we haven't been in this, fantastic form under Ranieri. But it's diabolical and delusional to be celebrating a first place stat if City A were to have started January 2nd. Like we've got bigger problems,
Yeah.
and the like I can't believe that I'm seeing this and people are biting it. Like that's like, oh, guys, let's put this into perspective, okay? His stats are great. But we're talking about 17 games unbeaten, and we are still literally not in the top four.
Yeah.
That is like unheard of in any league.
We're not in fifth.
We're not even in the top 5.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also, Juve and Lazio, the games were postponed today, so we can actually drop down to seventh depending if Lazio wins or not.
Hmm.
So that said, 17 games unbeaten, we are in sixth place, possibly seventh. Okay? This whole agenda of relying on other clubs to drop points in our favor fails miserably every single time, season after season, and we shit the bed hard every time the
Hmm.
first few weeks of the season. Okay, let's go back to when was the first game? We tied Cagliari. Okay, fine.
Hmm.
These first four games are under DDR. It doesn't matter. There's only so much a coach can do. I'm not being biased. I'm not defending De Rossi, but there's only so much a coach can do at times. But we shit the bed hard by tying Cagliari at home,
Hmm.
followed by a loss to Empoli,
Hmm.
a loss to Empoli.
Yep.
Then we tied Juve. Then we tied Genoa. That's the first 4 weeks we haven't gotten a win. Okay. Then we go on to tie Monza. We beat, and then the following after that is when the absolute thrashing from Fiorentina came. They bent us over 5-1, no lube, sandpaper finish. We got clapped. We we got
Yeah.
absolutely baptized like a born again Christian
Yeah.
against Fiorentina, and we're out here talking like we're going to beat them the second round.
Yeah, I know.
We lost top four before November. We had three coaches, and I don't care how good Ranieri's run is and how good the form that we're in, because Ranieri's not here next year. So who who cares how good we're doing? Like it's good for now, but what's the point in saying we're 17 games and being at Ranieri? He's making miracles, guys. He's not even here next year. We don't even
Yeah.
know who the coach is next year. Like
Right.
it's the same game plan every year. We play awful against the small clubs. We actually play decent against the big clubs. We just get unfortunate by not capitalizing on our opportunities and scoring goals in the final third, like I mentioned earlier. We don't finish our chances, and if we could just consistently beat these small teams, beating the big teams come May, April, May, wouldn't be such an uphill battle and constant headache.
Mm,
Like it's a mandatory task every single May that we win our last 10 games if we want to secure our goal, which is, you know, top four, I guess, every year, which is
hmm
kind of sad. But yeah, I mean, again, a coach can only do so much. Whoever comes in next, it's just these statistics of it just makes me sick. The stuff that I see on Twitter of
hmm
celebrating things like we'd be in first place if the season started January. Like who gives a fuck? Like we're
Yeah.
in seventh
Season
place.
starts in September. Yeah. Yeah.
If
I
we
think
Yeah.
beat
it's just
Empoli,
about celebrating beating a mediocre squad,
yes, like
and that's unacceptable.
it's
I
completely unacceptable.
I will refute your claim that a manager can only do so much.
Yeah,
I don't. Yes and no, but I take a hard stance. No, I mean obviously we can see it. Ranieri has had the same squad that both Juric and DDR had,
yeah, yeah,
and frankly, that's with DDR and Juric, we the season's over. With Ranieri, we're in first place. Unfortunately, newsflash,
Yeah.
yeah,
season doesn't start in January. So I think that just shows the importance of hiring the right manager. I mean, if we're just going to stick with being a Conference League, Europa League squad, why not just stay with Paulo Fonseca? I mean,
hmm
hmm
seriously, he was at least he had us beating the smaller teams.
We went to this Europa League semifinal with him too.
Yeah. And it's like, or why not just deal with Mourinho's bullshit on the side and stick with him? I mean,
hmm
we'd have a better shot uh, of, or at least we know it'd be top six if
Yeah.
that's what we're going to go strive for. So I
it
think it
just
is
sucks.
important to hire a manager who knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah,
Um, and
Mm.
hopefully the Freakins don't have their head so far up their ass they're tasting their noses. um Hopefully they know what they're doing, and so
Yeah. No, no, going back to Christian's monologue, I mean, frankly, that was quite poetic. Um,
it was
it,
bang on.
no, it was, yeah, it was
yeah, that
eloquent and accurate.
very eloquent.
One of the things you said, one of the things you said was this game plan of relying on other teams. Um, the unfortunate thing is this: it's never a game plan to have to rely on other teams, but every single year, without fail, for as long as I can remember, we have been in a position at the end of every season where we rely on other teams to get negative results in order for us to achieve our goals. So it's never
Spoiler
our
alert, it
intent,
never happens.
right? And it also, it never happens. It's never our intent going into every season. It's never the game plan,
But it's the plan B.
but it's like the plan B, and it happens
I
so
think it's the
much that it
plan A.
seems like it's the plan A. Yeah, exactly. Like it's unfortunately like this horrible like cuckold mentality, right? That's no, that's basically what it is, right? We're forced into the chair and we gotta watch. We gotta watch and pray and hope that Lecce beat uh,
Inter.
Atalanta in Bergamo by 6 goals, and we'll make top four. And like we sit there like
And we
idiots,
we
and we
stroke our
wait.
meat like we think it's going to happen,
No,
and
we
it's
sit
not
there.
going to happen.
We wait for like Baschirotto to have a hat trick, right? Like three corners converted, and they run absolutely hog wild on Atalanta in Bergamo, right? Like this is it's so it's so painful. That's the thing. It's getting like we're laughing about it, but I'm gonna get off of this podcast and I'm gonna
Oh,
go get
100%.
ready for work tomorrow, and I'm gonna be like that is really actually pathetic. It's not even funny. Um, but the thing is, and the sickest part of it all is every year we actually think something might happen. Um, like
Because it's always like so possible. Like even now, like this season, like look how close fourth place is.
yeah,
If we literally won two or three games, or even tied one or two more games, we would like mathematically be in third place.
The first
Como,
four
listen,
games.
listen,
like
That's
listen to
it.
me. If we didn't give 6 points to Como, we would be there. Como just got promoted. We lost twice, 2 times. There were years, you Roma would lose twice to Juventus,
but
lose
that's
twice to
acceptable.
Milan. No, now we draw Juve twice and we lose to Como
Yeah.
twice.
It's like a couple steps forward and then we back up and we fall off a cliff.
No, it's 2 steps forward and then we get on the train and the train takes us 11 stops
That's what
backward.
I mean. That's what I
And
mean.
then you
If
get out and the train hits you and you're dead.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally,
Th-
yeah.
This it's a mental thing though, man. Because and yeah, okay, Luca, I agree where it's like Ranieri had the same squad that DDR and Yuri had, but at the same time, no, like we Roma has historically have had a big mental problem in the locker room. Okay,
Hmm.
like we can never just have all hands on deck simultaneously for a consistent number of weeks. I'm not talking about the great run that we're on right now, but I'm just saying at earlier in the season when we fluff up one or two games in a row, we stop playing for 2 months, which is quite literally what happened.
Hmm.
Okay, like we wouldn't be forced to be in this predicament and basically having must-win games against the likes of Inter, Fiorentina, Atalanta, in Torino if we
Hmm.
just beat these small clubs, like I reiterated the last 87 times we've talked about it.
And I think it
Yeah.
We
all goes
like,
back to having Pellegrini as your captain.
yeah,
He's a weak
Well, yeah,
mentality,
that's a
yeah,
symptom of something
and
much
yeah,
worse.
yeah.
no,
Pellegrini,
I think it bleeds on the rest of the squad. It's just it's. I mean, we can see. I know we've had Ranieri, but we has also seen very little of Pellegrini on the pitch slash as a captain. You have Mancini as the captain majority of the time, and I think that's reflective in the squad and the way they're playing as well. Um,
guys,
yeah,
look, I
Ranieri has led
vouched.
it, but
Yeah.
I vouched for Pellegrini for a long time. I was a huge fanboy. I don't hate him. It's just he doesn't deserve to start, which he doesn't.
I got a
But
signed kit for you if you want
yeah, well, I got a kid with his name on it. It just
it.
there's no
No,
point
it's
anymore
signed.
in defending the guy. There's no
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
He came off against Lazio at halftime, boom, we scored. Like it's he does some things right, but his attitude on the pitch, he walks,
Dude,
he's lazy, he doesn't give a shit.
he's not good off the ball.
He's not
On
like
the
no,
ball, he's got good technical ability, but it's nothing
he's missing
extraordinary.
that final pass.
I mean, he's missing the first touch, the link up pass, the final pass, the finish. I mean, this year has been
His
dreadful
brain,
he's
his
just
I
on the
mean,
ground.
all the
I
time.
mean, God, if his dick wasn't attached to him, he wouldn't have that either.
Yeah. I mean, like, listen, it's Pellegrini captain for this long with how he's playing, like with how much of a head case he actually is. I would even think that if you take the armband away from him, he'll play better. Um, but it's like smoking for 60 years and then sitting on the couch going, why can't I breathe? Right? Like, hello, it's literally right in front of you. Why? I don't know. It's extremely difficult. I think that this is going to be though sorted by the next manager. And I
Yeah.
will say though, we're talking about they had the same squads. Okay, Daniele De Rossi started the season with a Roma that I thought went into the season with heads that were too big. And we thought, in my opinion, because we knocked Milan out of the Europa League, because we finished so well. I mean, the points per game for Daniele De Rossi at the end of last season was like one of the highest points per game since Spalletti. I actually think it might have been the highest or the second highest up until Claudio Ranieri's run right now. So they were on a high, and I think they started the season, and we all did. No matter what, these results they're gonna come. We just keep playing, and we got too lazy and too laid back, and they never came. And when they didn't come, we just rolled over and died. And then they sacked Daniele De Rossi too soon. Whatever you think, it's over. It doesn't matter. They sack him, and then Juric gets a Roma with a mental state that's basically been nuked, right? And he makes it worse. So I think we've had three managers in three different Romas completely. Same
At,
players, but different mental states, and that really does change a lot.
at the end of the
I mean, it's
day,
basically like World War II. I mean, you bomb Japan and then you bomb them
Yeah,
again. That's what
yeah.
happened to Roma.
at the end of the day, there's not even any use talking about Juric or Daniele De Rossi anymore.
No, no,
We're,
it's the
we
No, because
we
we're
are
in
where
first
we
place.
are. We are where
yeah,
we are where we are because we can't capitalize and beat small table clubs. That's the number one problem, and we find ourselves in May sitting in the cuck chair you find in the hotel.
yeah.
That's where we are.
We're in the corner.
It's the same thing every year, same
Yeah,
bullshit, rinse and repeat.
yeah,
Three
and
Scudetti in 87 years or more, actually 98 years.
yeah.
What
It's going to be 102 years. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, and I even that I don't like. Like we don't like we need to beat the small teams absolutely, but we have the potential to beat Juve, to beat
Of
Inter,
course
to
we do. I
beat
said it
Milan.
before. We play better
Yeah,
against the big teams than we do against Como.
absolutely. And we don't even do that for ourselves. We don't even beat the people uh, in our weight class or above, even though we can. And we don't beat. It's like we're super heavyweights, and we're getting knocked out in the first round by featherweights,
Yeah.
and it's every year. So I think that was a lot, fellas. I think a lot was said. I thought that was really awesome. You know, guys, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to submit them. People will DM us on Instagram, DM us on X. I think
Doesn't mean
someone
we won't put you on blast, but
right, yeah. Some people, I think someone even messaged the page on Facebook, right? Commenting on YouTube. We love seeing what you guys think. We love hearing your opinion. Please don't forget to share, to like, to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. I want to thank you again. It's episode 6. I can't believe it. It's basically been 6 weeks since we started. We're having a lot of fun, and thank you guys again so much for listening. Stay tuned again every week for our episodes, and have a good night. Happy Easter. Ciao.